Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. Today, we're completely transforming how you look at every single conversation. Actually, scratch that. We're not just looking, we're systematically decoding. We're moving away from blindly guessing how people feel, and instead, we're using the brilliant insights from Patrick King's Read People Like a Book to read the hidden emotions all around us.
So, let me ask you, have you ever just known someone was lying just by looking at them? Like, you couldn't quite put your finger on exactly why you knew it, but you just felt this undeniable tension in the air, right? Well, that quote-unquote intuition is actually your brain's rapid subconscious processing of tiny micro cues. Today, we're going to give that natural instinct a conscious scientific framework.
Which brings us to Chapter 1, The Mystery of the Unspoken. Let's dive right in. Patrick King introduces this really foundational concept. Human interaction is basically a giant puzzle, and behavior is the ultimate data. But to read that data, we have to clear a massive hurdle first, and that's our own bias. King writes, "Most people don't see the world as it is. They see the world as they are." This is absolutely crucial. To accurately read people, you have to completely detach from your own ego and assumptions. If you're angry, everyone's going to look hostile to you. You've got to observe with a neutral, scientific lens. Check out the massive gap here between what people say and what they do. Content is the verbal stuff, someone just saying, "I'm fine." Context, on the other hand, is their physical actions, drooping shoulders, avoiding eye contact, their voice going totally flat. Words are so easy to manipulate when we want to protect ourselves or hide the truth. But the body, driven by the limbic system, the body reads from a completely different, much more honest script. And that leads perfectly into Chapter 2, Following Behavioral Breadcrumbs. So what are behavioral breadcrumbs? Well, this is where your new scientific skill set truly begins. There are these small, recurring actions that, when you piece them together, reveal a person's hidden emotional or psychological state. We're talking about the tiny things here. A fleeting glance, a nervous little laugh, or even the way someone shifts their weight from one foot to the other when a certain topic gets brought up. Alone, they mean absolutely nothing. But together, they build an incredibly accurate narrative of what's really going on beneath the surface. But listen, here's the trap that amateur detectives always fall into. They judge a single isolated action. You definitely cannot do that. To scientifically evaluate these breadcrumbs, you need a system. First, observe the frequency. How often is this happening? Second, check consistency. Does this happen across totally different environments? And third, gauge the intensity. Look, someone fidgeting just once doesn't mean they're hiding some massive secret, right? But someone who intensely and consistently fidgets every single time you mention a specific project at work, okay, now you've got a baseline deviation that's absolutely worth following. And you know what? Some of the most revealing breadcrumbs are right there on the face. These are the 7 universal microexpressions: happiness, sadness, anger, surprise, fear, disgust, and contempt. These are completely involuntary facial flashes that last just a fraction of a second. They happen so fast, they betray a person's true feelings before their conscious mind even has time to mask them. So if a coworker says they're thrilled about your promotion, but you catch a microsecond flash of contempt, like that little asymmetrical smirk on one side of their mouth, believe the microexpression for sure. All right, Chapter 3, Spotting Signs of Dishonesty. Time to play detective. Let's shift into decoding deception. We all want to know when someone's lying to us, and there really is a specific science to it. But the absolutely crucial first step is this. You have to establish their baseline first. Scientifically speaking, there is literally no universal lie sign out there because everyone's nervous system reacts differently to stress. You fundamentally must know a person's relaxed, truthful behavior before you can ever spot deviations. How do they act when they're perfectly calm? Do they naturally talk super fast? Do they always use their hands a lot? You cannot spot a lie until you know what their truth looks like. Once you've got that baseline locked in, you watch for Patrick King's 4 specific red flags. Number 1, over-explaining. Because lying carries a huge cognitive load, liars overcompensate. Instead of just saying, "Hey, I missed the train," they'll hit you with a highly detailed, totally unprompted story about a green sedan blocking traffic on 4th Street. Number 2, a tense or defensive posture, like suddenly crossing their arms. Number 3, contradictions between what they're saying and what their body is actually doing. And number 4, inconsistencies in their story over time. You can easily spot a lot of these deviations by comparing open signals against closed signals. A truthful person, someone who trusts you and is fully engaged, they're going to show relaxed posture, uncrossed arms, and pretty steady eye contact. But someone whose brain is under the intense stress of hiding a lie, they will unconsciously throw up protective, closed-off gestures to shield themselves. They might tuck their hands deep into their pockets, angle their body toward the exit, or even rub their neck just to soothe their own nervous system's anxiety.
Okay, I want to take a brief pause right here. Patrick King says the ability to read lies is not about exposing others, it's a light to protect yourself in a dark room. We are not learning these skills to become super paranoid or suspicious of everyone around us. We're maintaining an empathetic, protective approach. This is simply about safeguarding yourself in business or personal relationships, not playing gotcha with your friends. That's a huge distinction.
Let's wrap things up with Chapter 4, Building Your Daily Detective Habit.
Because understanding the theory is great, but turning these analytical skills into an automatic daily routine is where you gain real social intelligence. Think of this table as your daily checklist. Step 1, awareness. Just start by being mindful of your physical surroundings and the people in them. Take it all in. Step 2, observe. Note those recurring behavior patterns, but don't judge them right away. Step 3, contextualize. Remember, crossing your arms at a freezing bus stop means something entirely different than crossing your arms during a tense performance review. And finally, step 4, compare. Always match their spoken words against their physical actions.
If you want to put this into practice right now, today, try these 3 immediate exercises. First, actively observe the body language of the very next person you talk to. Second, practice active listening, so don't just wait for your turn to speak, actually listen to their tone and their pace. And third, try safely mirroring their emotions. If they're calm and speaking slowly, slow your own voice down. If they're super excited, raise your energy to match. Seriously, watch how instantly connected they'll feel to you. It's a real game changer.
So, we've gone from totally rethinking our own perceptions to the science of tracking breadcrumbs, and finally, to building a daily habit that boosts your social intelligence. Which leaves us with just one final, provocative question for you to ponder as you step out into the world. Who will you truly see today? Keep your eyes open, watch for those breadcrumbs, and I guarantee you will never look at a simple conversation the same way again. Thanks for joining me on this explainer.